It's time for the Nebraska Women's Basketball Coaches Show.
Prince on the right side, steps into a three. You betcha! Rick Prince has 102 points in her career. Will reset, guarded by fellow freshman McKinney. Good screen from Markowski. Screen and roll, caught by Markowski, and it counts, and a foul. She went right by Ani Stewart, scored, and Stewart commits the foul. Oh, Moriarty saved it in bounds, got it to Coley, to Widener, angles in, out to Rimdole for three on the right wing. You betcha! Huskers made something out of nothing.
Now with Amy Williams, here's your host, Jessica Coody.
Welcome into the show, everybody. We've got a full 2 hours ahead for you here on the Huskers Radio Network. Coming up in hour number 2, Greg Sharpe will join me. We'll talk some Pinstripe Bowl. They had some press conferences today, so we'll talk about that and also hear from one of the newest Huskers I had a chance to catch up with last week on signing day. But here in hour number 1, we're going to talk some Husker women's hoops with our Nebraska Women's Basketball Hour. Amy Williams set to join us here about 6:30 or so, but in the meantime, we are pleased to be joined by Jeff Greesh, analyst for us on the Huskers Radio Network broadcast, also the sports information director for how long now?
A long time, a long time, 26 years from the official start, but a little longer than that, actually, about 30 years with the team.
And what year is this for you and Coatney together?
24.
Wow.
24.
That's incredible.
Yeah, a lot of games.
Wow. Well, appreciate you stepping in. You have you're like a walking women's basketball encyclopedia. I can ask you anything and you have the answer. So if you have any questions that you want to ask Greesh here over the next 30 minutes and Amy Williams here in the bottom half of the hour, 402-413-2400. Well, I guess let's start. How impressive was that win over Minnesota? Minnesota comes in unbeaten, and Huskers get that first Big Ten win, which is always important.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting the way the flow of play went there, but Nebraska got out quick, jumped out 12-2, hit shots early, and really just stayed locked in for the first 20 minutes defensively. Just not very many breakdowns. And when they did break down, Minnesota missed. And they really, in the first half, Minnesota was able to get a few second chances out of those misses, but Nebraska still got stops, and they just mounted up. And, you know, at the end of 20 minutes, Minnesota has 19 points. Okay, that's unbelievable when you're opening conference play. And Nebraska was just steady offensively in the first half. And then in the second half, the dams broke for both teams, and everybody was scoring every possession, right? After 9-8 in the second quarter, which is what you want to write home about, right? It was 9-8. And then, but Nebraska won. And then in the third quarter, it was just basket, basket, basket. In the fourth quarter, it was basket every time. Now, in the fourth, Nebraska really pushed it out, like throttled in the third quarter, and then just went on a big run in the middle of the fourth and built a 28-point lead. And then Minnesota really chopped it down to 19 at the end. But the Huskers were really good defensively in the first half, solid offensively for 3 out of the 4 quarters, and that got you a 19-point win over an unbeaten team. So the Huskers are going to take that one every single time, especially to start the Big Ten.
Absolutely. I've been so impressed with how this team has continued to respond without Natalie Potts. I mean, that's a big piece that goes down. A lot of teams could have folded and had some much more growing pains, I guess, than what the Huskers have had. And I talked to Logan Nisley today, and she said they talked about everybody's just got to do a little bit more, and it seems like they're really embracing that. Yeah,
and it's a great approach, and it really is their approach whether you have everybody at full strength or not. Like, the great thing about the way Nebraska is built right now is that that's what they were doing when they had Natalie Potts. Yeah. And, you know, they're looking at things, and they have experience doing it the past couple years, somewhat because they played without Allison Widener, and they knew everybody had to be a little bit better to make up for Allison Widener. And then you go through the summer, and Logan Nisley's out for the whole summer, and you don't have her. And then you're trying to work Logan back in, and you're like, everybody's going to have to be a little bit better. That's an all-freshman player in the league, in Logan Nisley. And, you know, she's getting stronger every day, Logan is, and that's going to help. You know, at the 4 spot, Nebraska's got options. You have Jess Petrie at the 4. She's experienced. She went through it last year. You've got Amaya Hargrove as a true freshman, who we've seen her just play lights out a couple times in her first 9 games, like she did against Minnesota. I mean, she was great against Minnesota. You have 10 points and 8 rebounds in like 13 minutes, right? And then Petra Bojan is playing the 5, but she can be out there. and take minutes from the 4 spot, right? And she has 9 points and 5 rebounds in 13 minutes. And you're getting that kind of production from your freshmen. You know, I looked at a stat right after the game on Sunday, and our freshman, when you included Britt Prince, who had 7 points, ho-hum, and 7 rebounds, which she'd never done before in college, you have those stats. You had 26 points and 20 rebounds from your 3 freshmen in 57 minutes. That's crazy, crazy production against anybody, but to do it in their first conference games is unbelievable. And then you looked at Minnesota's 4 returning starters. And those 4 returning starters for Minnesota had 31 points and 20 rebounds in 117 minutes. So all the rest of the players can just come up with whatever they want. They need 5 points in 60 minutes. This is what our freshmen did to balance out their starters. So, you know, you look at numbers like that, and you really get a sense of how productive they can be. You know, nobody's really expecting Petra and Amaya to come out and score 20. But they can get 10 and 5, and they can get it in a short amount of time because they're real scorers and they're real rebounders. And, you know, those kind of things are going to travel. Plus, they're so different from each other that they're tough matchups for the same power forward across the conference.
You know, on numbers a little bit more, if you read the game notes, you have all kinds of good nuggets in there. I was also seeing, too, that, okay, so the Huskers are pretty much top of the league in 3-point field goal percentage, one of the best in the country, top 5. Also field goal percentage, the assist turnover ratio. There's so many, like, great stats offensively. What to you is the most impressive stat for this team so far this season? Yeah,
you know, like those stats are terrific for sure, and those are the stats you really want to be good at. Like, I mean, if you want to knock down and take a look at the NCAA stat categories, winning percentage is pretty important. I like that one. I like to be number 1 in that one. Scoring margin, huge one. Like, definitely want to be good in that. Want to be great in rebound margin. Nebraska's really good there. But field goal percentage is something that Nebraska just traditionally has not been really good at. Like, even the best teams that Nebraska had, not great field goal percentage teams. This team has a chance to probably be the best shooting team that Nebraska's ever had.
Wow.
And I think one of the big reasons is, getting back to what you said, they just have so many players that they can go to, and everybody can shoot it. And when you have those kind of things, shooting's contagious. So if everybody can shoot it, and then everybody becomes a little bit better shooter, and the knowledge of it and the pressure that it puts on a defense everywhere. Like, you can see, you're still going to have nights where you go 3 for 20. Okay, that's still going to happen. You'd be a great shooting team, and you're still going to go 3 for 20. It's happened in Nebraska. It happened at Creighton, right? You get 5 makes, and that's all you got. Took 25 shots. That's it. There's going to be those nights. But if you're also rebounding, that's where you get pretty strong. And if you're a good assist-to-turnover team, and you share the ball well, that really minimizes what you miss on those nights that you just can't make the ball go in. I mean, Nebraska kind of had one of those nights against Lindenwood, the game right before the Minnesota game. Huskers really couldn't throw it in the ocean very well in that game, especially for a half, and they were able to overcome it. So, you know, I think those stats are great, and those field goal percentage stats are huge for Nebraska, because if you're that kind of efficient, then you are going to give yourself a chance in a game. And it also creates those kind of things that we saw against Minnesota, which was a 10-0 run in 1 minute and 30 seconds, a 10-0 run in 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And I think Nebraska also had like a 9-0 run in 1 minute and 30 in the fourth quarter or something like that. So if you get 3 10-0 runs in a game, it's hard to lose.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There are so many great stories already for this team, great storylines. I think I have mine, but I'm curious to see what your favorite storyline so far of this team would be.
Well, that's a great question. I think I'll go with 3. Okay, I'm going to go with 3 storylines. My 3 story, because I like to see kids overcome. Yeah. Right. Like those are the important ones to me. And you know, Allison with 2 ACLs, and she's such a tough kid, and she wants to do the right thing all the time, and she works so hard, and she's such a great athlete. And to have your legs taken away from you as an athlete is tough, and to have to do it for 2 years is tough. And so I know for our players and coaches who are there with her every single day, they know how hard that is. And then really at the same time, I look at Logan Nisley, and you basically have the same thing with 2 feet, not knees, feet. And so you look at those and you're like, boy, it takes some toughness to play with those things and overcome that kind of energy or injury. And then Logan does it with a smile on her face. Like she plays with, like joy when she's out there. And so, but they're both gritty players. And then the third one is not really an injury thing or necessarily an overcome kind of thing. Callan Haig.
That's mine.
Callan Haig, man. I mean, she plays with joy, right? And she's fun to watch, and she's like a spark plug out there on the floor. But when she heats it up and gets going, it's tough to stop. And what she's really done the last 2 years is she looked at herself as a player and said, I'm not good enough defensively. I have to be better defensively. And so she has worked super hard defensively to go from not being good enough really in her own mind defensively to being, maybe our best player on the defensive end out on the perimeter, and does all these little team things. And then the whole time that she's like providing a lift on the defensive end, she's also just talking and getting everybody going, and she's Miss Energy out on the floor and like just makes everybody better around her. And those kind of things are great. And then when you add the leadership aspect that she has and how hard she's working off the court, like, why in the world would you root against that kid? Like, she just does everything right.
Yeah, she's playing with just a different kind of confidence, and it seems to be contagious when she's on the floor.
No, absolutely, it is contagious on the floor. And really, she has a personality that's actually probably really similar to Alexis Markowski in that they really want to cheer for the other players on the floor with them.
Yeah.
And when you have that kind of selflessness as a basketball player, where you care more about what the other players out there are doing than yourself, well, it makes you hard to beat.
All right, let's get to our first break here on our Nebraska Women's Basketball Show. Contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. We're going to keep talking Husker Women's Hoops coming up on the other side of this.
League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalists Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Orantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from Olympic medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit lovb.com for more information and tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store, because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hi, I'm Tom Osborne, former football coach and co-founder of the Teammates Mentoring Program.
And I'm Des Moines Adams, Husker Black Shirt and CEO of Teammates Mentor.
We're recruiting Teammates mentors and need caring adults to be in the lives of our students.
Meeting with a student once a week at the school can make a positive impact in their life and have a ripple effect in our communities.
Please join our team.
Go to teammates.org today.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From family road trips in a spacious SUV to heavy-duty hauling in a powerful truck, Woodhouse has the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Purchasing a vehicle has never been easier thanks to our streamlined buying process. Browse a huge selection of new or pre-owned vehicles from top brands. view transparent pricing so you can find the vehicle that fits in your budget, and complete your purchase online. Shop when you want, where you want. It's the Woodhouse difference. Get started today at woodhouse.com.
No matter what color you wear on game day or what color tractor you drive, there's one color Nebraskans trust to be a partner for life lived well. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska combines national power with Nebraska roots. Awarded the best health insurance experience in the heartland, Blue Cross delivers affordable, high-quality health plans for Medicare groups and individuals. Head to nebraskablue.com to find the coverage that's right for you. Team Blue says, go Big Red.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Want to boost Nebraska's economy and help the planet? It's as easy as filling up your tank. Switch to soy-based biodiesel to cut greenhouse gases by up to 74% and support biodiesel growth.
I'm Greg Anderson, a farmer near Newman Grove, Nebraska, and biodiesel has transformed our farm. It cuts emissions, raises the cetane number, and improves fuel lubricity.
So ask for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, economy, and Nebraska soybean farmers. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
Welcome to the Make It Jingle with Chris Kringle podcast. Today we're talking to Jan from Toyota, all about Toyotathon.
Hi!
So, tell me about Toyotathon.
Well, from now until January 6th is the perfect time to get a new Camry, RAV4, Highlander, and more.
Oh, how exciting! So what can you do in a new Toyota this holiday season?
With a new RAV4, you can go snowboarding with your friends.
I love dashing through the snow.
Take a Camry to a tree lighting ceremony.
Sounds merry and bright.
Or even load up the family in a Highlander to go ice skating.
What a jolly good time. So, Jan, got any red Tacomas? After my big job, I'm taking the missus down to Florida to go surfing.
Florida? I'm there.
Dealer inventory may vary. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyotathon, which ends on January 6th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers, Corin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, or Baxter Toyota of La Vista.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. It's our weekly Nebraska women's basketball hour. We will be joined by head coach Amy Williams here in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, we are glad to have Jeff Griesch sitting in with us. We had a couple things wanted to get to. First of all, you got a shout out from Wayne High School. A Wayne High School Blue Devil is in the chat. Bone-led, corn-fed. He said you went to the same high school.
Yeah, go Big Blue. Go Big Blue, class 91.
Nice. And then Brad from Beatrice said, Jeff, what is something about Coatman that we do not know? Is there anything appropriate for live radio?
The most is not appropriate about Coatman. That's so hard because Coatney knows everybody, right? And you're from Beatrice, Brad, and if you're from Beatrice, yeah, you could have lived next to him. And so I don't know what you know, but what I'll say that most people would be surprised to know is that he is fluent in Persian Farsi. And if you get into a cab in Los Angeles with Matt Coatney and there is an Iraqi cab driver, you are going to go for a ride.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, how did that happen?
He was a linguist in the Navy.
Wow.
So
that's amazing.
And so he's got, like top secret clearance.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I learned something. Brad might have known that, but I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
well,
great.
now that I've said that he's got top secret clearance, there's going to be somebody standing on the other side of this window.
You're in
They're
trouble.
They're going to take me out.
You are in
get ready.
Getting us all in trouble here. Okay, well, you know so much about not just obviously Nebraska basketball, but the landscape of women's college basketball. And one glance of the top 25, and whoo, this Big Ten conference is loaded. And you got number 1 UCLA, number 5 USC. I mean, it is from top to bottom. And then you got teams that are right there on the fringe, almost getting in.
Just waiting to get in, like Michigan's in one poll, but not in the other. Michigan State was basically somewhere between 22 and 25 last week, and now they've shot up to the middle of the poll. And statistically speaking, Michigan State has been really, really impressive in the early part of the season. And so I actually think their rankings have deserved it. The coaches and the writers this week kind of adjusted the polls based on the net rankings, because the net rankings almost kind of make sense now that you're about 10 games in. I still say they don't really sort themselves out until 20 games, but they're giving people a picture now, and Michigan State's like number 6 in the net rankings. But what you've got is you've got UCLA at number 1, USC at number 5, and everybody knew those two teams were going to be really good, but I don't think they thought that UCLA was going to be number 1. USC at number 5, you've got Maryland at number 7, Ohio State at number 8, so you got 4 Big Ten teams in the top 10, and then you get to the middles, and the middles so far have been Illinois, Michigan, Michigan State, and Iowa, and those would be the teams that have been kind of in the top 17 range. And then you've got Nebraska also down there. Indiana's been in the top 25 this year, but they've had some losses. They've played a tougher schedule than some teams during the non-conference season. So there's just so many teams that are good. And then, I didn't mention Minnesota. Last week, Minnesota was receiving votes.
Yeah.
And they were 10-0 and winning by an average of 25 points a game or whatever, and not really allowing any points. And so when you look at those kind of teams, every single night it is going to be a war in the conference, and you're going to have to figure it out. I think one of the best things that the coaches decided to do this year was something that I really advocated, was play the season as a round robin.
Yeah, I like that.
And I think it's going to be great. We'll see what it does to the net rankings. But in a league that's top to bottom is filled with so many good teams, it's not going to hurt anybody to not play 2 games against the best team in the league. And some of those games are going to come. Like in Nebraska's case, they play the home and home with Iowa. Michigan's going to be playing the home and home with Michigan State. So there's 2 top 20 teams. Indiana and Purdue, those are always going to be good matchups. I think Maryland and Rutgers is the matchup, but it might be Maryland and Ohio State. And so you're just looking at some really big-time games every night.
At this point, how many Big Ten teams do you think will probably make the NCAA tournament field? What is going to be the probably the magic number for a conference record?
Yeah, what I'm going to say is not enough. I'm going to say that really confidently. Like, no matter what, I'm going to look at the end of the season, and I think is going to happen is you're going to have something like 13 Big Ten teams in the top 45. That's what I think is going to happen in the net, based on what I see in the net and what I know these schedules are going to do to each other. And so all these teams are just going to be loaded to the top, and somebody's going to have to say, yeah, we can't take 13 Big Ten teams. And then somebody like me is going to be saying, well, of course you can. Of course you can take that many teams. We have a 68-team field. We're like, this is not a problem.
Didn't they take like 12 or 14 SEC teams
exactly.
recently?
Like, of course you can take that many teams. If they deserve to be in, take them. And it'll just be really interesting. The hard part of it is really going to be, does it get lopsided at the top and bottom, right? Does the strength of the league kill the bottom, which is probably okay, but does it really kind of mash up the middle to the point where when you have 5 teams that go 8 and 10, okay, now you have a hard time making an argument. But that's what the Big Ten is going to have to do this year. They're going to have to get to the point and say, look, 9 and 9 in this league is definitely good enough. 8 and 10 in this league is definitely good enough. And that's kind of the Big 12 mentality, and it kind of always has been. Like, there's no reason you can't take Big 12 teams with losing conference records, but that really hasn't happened in the Big Ten, and it needs to. The league is too strong for that not to happen.
It happens on the men's side.
Absolutely.
So yep. How good is Amanda Hart, the staff, about also balancing, okay, it's going to be a gauntlet in the Big Ten, but getting what you need to in the non-conference in terms of the net and where you need to be there?
Yeah, no, we talk about it a lot, and Amanda and I look at things very similar, so it's easy for us to bounce those kind of things off each other. And she's done a terrific job in scheduling and finding teams. And the big thing in the net, like, you got to have good stats. You got to have good margins. And So you build a non-conference schedule that's going to get that. The same thing that we really want to do is, okay, you need to play road games against good teams, but you also need to play home teams or play teams at home. And so you want games for our fans to watch. And so we've definitely focused on doing that. And then, the biggest thing that can really happen is that everybody rises up to the schedule and keeps getting better and keeps knowing, hey, there's bigger games down the road. Every game is a bigger game than the last one, and that's what you have to understand.
How receptive was the rest of the league when you started having those conversations about playing everybody once? Because I think we see that in football, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then by the end of the season, they're saying, oh, well, this team didn't play this
right.
team, So I think, okay, here's a fair schedule. Here's everybody plays everybody.
Yeah, I can't speak to how it went in the discussions with the coaches. I know that it made the most sense to me, and I was a strong advocate of it to all the other conference SIDs and said, tell your coaches.
Yeah.
Tell your coaches, here's a great idea, do this. And I know that some coaches probably were for it, some probably against it because they had a different plan of their own. And to me, it made the most sense to be the best way to start it. And so I think they did a great job in doing it because not very many conferences do the first thing that makes the most sense. You know what I mean? Like, so when you see it, you think, hey, that's a good thing. Somebody made a decision that made sense. That's awesome. So I think that was terrific in the scheduling end of things to start the conference. Who knows how long it'll stay? And it might not be the best decision. I just think it was a great way to start it.
Well, great stuff. The head coach has entered the building, so
I'll run away from the microphone as fast as I can.
The opening act was great, so appreciate you stepping in, helping us out. Always enjoy picking your brain. You know so many things. You got all those details up there. So Jeff Grease joining us here in the first part of our Nebraska Women's Basketball Hour. On the other side of this break, we'll be joined by the head coach, Amy Williams. So keep it here on our Nebraska Women's Basketball Hour. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on our massive screens. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Husker fans, this is Coach Williams thanking you for supporting Husker basketball. Thanks also for supporting your Husker student athletes through contributions to 1890 Nebraska, the official NIL collective for Husker Athletics. 100% of your contributions to 1890 go to Husker athletes, positively affecting their lives in so many ways. So visit 1890nebraska.com or text NEBNIL to 801-801 today and go Big Red.
You're gonna feel a puff of air.
Strong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to the Make It Jingle with Kris Kringle podcast. Today we're talking to Jan from Toyota, all about Toyotathon.
Hi!
So, tell me about Toyotathon.
Well, from now until January 6th is the perfect time to get a new Camry, RAV4, Highlander, and more.
Oh, how exciting! So what can you do in a new Toyota this holiday season?
With a new RAV4, you can go snowboarding with your friends.
I love dashing through the snow.
Take a Camry to a tree lighting ceremony.
Sounds merry and bright.
Or even even load up the family in a Highlander to go ice skating.
What a jolly good time. So, Jan, got any red Tacomas? After my big job, I'm taking the missus down to Florida to go surfing.
Florida? I'm there.
Dealer inventory may vary. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyota Thon, which ends on January 6th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers, Corin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, or Baxter Toyota of La Vista.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on massive screens. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
Welcome to the Make It Jingle with Chris Kringle podcast. Today we're talking to Jan from Toyota, all about Toyota-thon.
Hi.
So, tell me about Toyota-thon.
Well, from now until January 6th is the perfect time to get a new Camry, RAV4, Highlander, and more.
Oh, how exciting. So what can you do in a new Toyota this holiday season?
With a new RAV4, you can go snowboarding with your friends.
I love dashing through the snow.
Take a Camry to a tree lighting ceremony.
Sounds merry and bright.
Or even load up the family in a Highlander to go ice skating.
What a jolly good time. So, Jan, got any red Tacomas? After my big job, I'm taking the missus down to Florida to go surfing.
Florida? I'm there.
Dealer inventory may vary. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyota Thon, which ends on January 6th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers, Corin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, or Baxter Toyota of La Vista.
The Nebraska Women's Basketball Coaches Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, where people don't have your money has people. Welcome back. We got a couple of segments left here, and joined by the head coach, Amy Williams. Coach, this is crazy time. I mean, you got dead week, you've got finals, all the stuff. You have to remember they're student athletes, right? I mean, just how crazy is this time just trying to figure everything out and when you can practice and all that good stuff?
Right, absolutely. It's hectic right now this time of year, and more hectic for the players who are trying to finish up final projects and group presentations and trying to finish the semester strong. And they've got busy class schedules this week and next week. So we like to keep that into account, and kind of messes with our schedule a little, which is why I'm so glad Grish could fill in for me in the first half of this hour. But just really proud of our young ladies and the way that they attack, the end of the semester and trying to be their very best and perform well in the classroom as well as on the basketball court.
I was telling the listeners, Grish is like a walking women's basketball encyclopedia.
Yes, is.
He's got all of it up here. You could ask him anything. He knows it from the past, now across women's basketball. It's like it's there in that brain.
It is just amazing. and to Grish was a male practice player when I played here. And
wow.
So he can remember all the players that I played with and then everybody that played since and almost every game. And when him and Matt Coatney are together on our road trips, they can tell you, when this player hit this shot from this spot at Purdue and this in 1998 and this, they have it all down. It's really fun, but what an awesome connection those two guys are to our past, and just the legacy and history of our program.
Did Grish do you up when he was on the male practice squad?
100%. He was very good defensively, very good ball handler. So I vividly remember us going back and forth against each other in one-on-one zigzag, which, that full court drill that everybody loves so much. But and then sometimes when I was in that 30-30 club, I got to be on his team, on the scout team some too. So
he's also the one that's responsible for pulling out the picture of you when you're wearing basically capri pants.
That's the Allen Iverson days, the Allen Iverson look. Like my daughters saw that picture of me and they were like, how'd you ever even cross over between your legs? Like the ball get caught on your shorts. So that was the style back then.
It was. Oh, well, let's, I guess, get a little serious here.
Yeah.
How about the first win in the Big Ten? What a start for your team. Just how important was getting that first conference win?
Yeah, I mean, it's very important, and it was really nice to be opening conference play at home here and just in front of just an amazing crowd at Pinnacle Bank Arena. But I thought we got off to a great start, and that was important because Minnesota came into the game 10-0, and in their 10 wins, they had just really punched first in almost every game of the season. So we knew it was going to be really important for us to get off to a great start, and I thought we did. We set the tone there in the first quarter, and we're able to just kind of expand on that.
How about your freshman, Amaya, Petra, the way that they've stepped up, but especially Amaya, how she played on Sunday?
Yeah, I thought she just gave us a huge spark right there. She went on an 8-0 run kind of by herself, and then Britt capped it off with like a 10-0, I think, from our freshman class. And, but I thought she just did a great job of being shot ready and doing, playing within herself and just playing with a lot of confidence.
I'm sad. Last week I was told I had Courtney fill in for me, but apparently Natalie called into the show right after surgery. I had Logan Nisley on earlier for a podcast interview, and she just had talked about how this team came together and said, we all got to do a little bit more. And it seems like this team is really embracing that, and you're seeing them with each game out really, I guess, responding to that and doing their part and filling a big void without Natalie Potts out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's no secret. We've talked about it at length about just what Natalie has meant to our program and what she means to us on the basketball court. And just trying to figure out, we've had a few games now to try to, look at some different lineups, look at some different things, play to the strengths of the players that we still have that are available to be on that court, and then encouraging them to find ways to just bring something just a little bit more for our team. And I think they've done a great job of really buying into that, and we've been able to be very flexible and kind of elastic, I guess, as a team where we can adjust and say, okay, if it's Jess Petrie today and she gives us the best chance to get off to a great start, let's go with it. If it's Kendall Coley, if it's Amaya Hargrove, if it's Petra, if it's, just everybody finding a way, and I think illustrated most by things, Britt Prince, we've been asking her to get involved. Can you help us get a few more rebounds with Natalie being out of the lineup? And she comes away with 7 rebounds, just finding ways to impact the game, even if it's not with scoring, but with rebounding, with all the little things that we lost when Natalie went down.
Gresh and I were breaking down the numbers. I mean, you're one of the best in the country. Field goal percentage, 3-point field goal percentage, assist turnover ratio, all that good stuff. Where does this team rank among some of the better groups, shooting groups that you've had, just collectively as a group?
Well, I'm sitting over here knocking on wood because I always feel like then we always kind of bounce back as soon as we talk about how great we shoot it, then we bounce back and maybe don't. But I did tell the group before we went into the South Dakota game, I said, I really legitimately feel like we could be one of the best shooting teams in the country. And we came out and hit 23s in that game. So, I do feel like we just have a lot of different weapons, a lot of different players that put a lot of time into it. And then when you couple that with a group that is motivated to want to get paint touches, and you have an outstanding post player like Alexis Markowski, who just demands a lot of attention inside, then I think it leads to more quality looks from behind the arc. And so if we continue to do the little things right and the things we need to do to collapse defenses and to make the extra pass and to pass it and move the ball quickly and play with great pace, then I think we'll continue to get good looks at it. And I have confidence in our team that we can be a very good shooting team.
Has Alexis's passing improved this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. When she set a career high with 7 assists, that's something that I think tells you that she's really improved in that area, and that's something that was a real focus for her even into last year and this year, is being able to pass out of double teams and pass in traffic. And so I think that's something she's really worked hard on, and we're benefiting from that.
So, again, you have this Big Ten game in the middle, but what's kind of the focus right now for this group when you're balancing so much going on, but you're kind of closing out December before you hit? We also talked a lot about the Big Ten and how crazy stacked this conference is. What's kind of the goals for this group here as you close out December?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest goals are we need to work towards putting together more complete ball games. And we've just talked about the fact that, there's been times we've been really, really good. And then we kind of let our foot off the gas and we, don't close the door and don't, finish. And so I think we know that when it gets to Big Ten play for good, and really even that Georgia Tech game on the road right before the Christmas break when you're playing another ranked opponent on your non-conference schedule, those games require that you put together 40 minutes and you have really solid performances for as close to the 40-minute games as you can. So I think that's our biggest goal here, is just working towards that and trying to put together the most complete games that we can.
All right, let's get to another break here on our Nebraska Women's Basketball Hour, and then we will close things out previewing the matchup with Tarleton. And I see a couple texts coming in. So let's get to a break, and we will close out this hour with Amy Williams coming up on the other side of this. Dorothy Lynch, home style and light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
From family road trips in a spacious SUV to heavy-duty hauling in a powerful truck, Woodhouse has the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Purchasing a vehicle has never been easier thanks to our streamlined buying process. Browse a huge selection of new or pre-owned vehicles from top brands. View transparent pricing so you can find the vehicle that fits in your budget. And complete your purchase online. Shop when you want, where you want. It's the Woodhouse difference. Get started today at woodhouse.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump.
And save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Husker Extra is the best website and mobile app for everything Husker sports, from the experts at the Omaha World Herald and Lincoln Journal-Star. Go to huskerextra.com or search your app store today. Final segment here of our Nebraska Women's Basketball Hour. Crypto King in the chat, Coach, wants to know if you have your Christmas shopping done yet. Is that why you were late?
I do not have my Christmas shopping done. To be honest, like I've barely even started on that, and I wish that that's why I was late and that I was getting something like that productive done. But yeah, we had a little bit late practice today because our kids' finals or dead week presentations and finals schedule, which kind of threw us a little later on our practice schedule today. And so that's what I was doing rather than getting my Christmas shopping done.
Oh, you probably still feels like it's before Thanksgiving for you, but I mean, how do you balance all of it?
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Thank goodness that I have the most amazing husband in the world because he handles a lot of tasks and duties for me and just kind of helps. I came home the other day and Christmas tree was up.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And the girls helped him decorate and got the ornaments out, and so some of the things that that I just don't have time to get to right now this time of year, he helps handle.
That's great. Art in Los Angeles, one of our favorite texters, said wants to know about Jazz Shelley. How's she doing? What is she up to? Is she playing pro ball? She seems to be living her best life.
She is living her best life, and we're just so proud of her. She just she went back and played the last tail end of the WNBL 1 league, and just had a great finish to that, and then signed a contract with Geelong in their first season with the WNBL, which is the professional league in Australia. And she was named the kind of secondary captain or, of their team as a rookie, which is a pretty special honor and privilege. And has just been, I think, just using a lot of the things that she gained in her time here at Nebraska to her advantage to kind of help her be a great leader with that group in their first inaugural season, and also just performing really well on the court. So we're very proud of her. Her and Izzy got to match up against each other the other day on different teams over in that professional league. They're both having outstanding careers, and we're really proud of them.
That's great. It was great to see Ani Stewart back in the building yesterday. She shared a couple special moments with her former teammates. That's always nice to see.
Yeah, it was. It was. And Ani's just an amazing young woman that cared about everybody in our program, and the feelings were very mutual. And so to see her, just be able to come up and just wrap her arms around Natalie Potts and just, show her support for Natalie. And, I think it just was, it was pretty special, even more special because we were able to come away with a win.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And I'm sure you've been asked a ton about this, but Gresh and I were talking earlier about our favorite storylines, and we both brought up Callan Hake. Boy, she's on a different level this year. It just seems like she's just playing so confidently for you guys.
Yeah, I've been so proud of her. I think she's found ways. She's worked through different roles. We've at times felt like we needed to have her out there to start ball games. At times we've felt like we needed to bring her punch kind of off the bench, and she just has handled whatever we've thrown at her and just taken it and said, hey, whatever I get. Whenever I'm out there, I'm just going to fight for this team. And so I've just been so proud of her, watching the way that the increased leadership that she's had, not just as being a captain on this team, but with being the SAC president and the roles that she has in the School of Business. And I think that confidence, I just am a firm believer that how you do anything is how you do everything. And, I think it's just really helped her. You can see she's carrying her shoulders back. She expects to get defensive stops and make plays on defense. She expects when she shoots it that the ball's going to go in the basket. She leads our team in assists right now, and just, doing a lot of things for us.
Okay, let's talk up next. You guys are taking on Tarleton State tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Tell us about that matchup. What does that look like for you guys when you start diving into the film?
Yeah, I think it's a team that's really athletic, that has, played games on the road at UTEP, at Texas at Arizona. They've played in big stages in front of big crowds. And so I don't think it is a team that'll come in and be intimidated at all. And they're going to play aggressive. And they set a lot of ball screens and they make really good reads. So it'll be something where we want to try to work towards putting together more complete ball games, and they're going to make that difficult, and we're going to have to handle the basketball. They force a lot of turnovers, and we had a few too many the other night, so that's another area that we'll need to clean up.
It seems like you've seen a lot of different kinds of styles, looking matchups. How much will that prepare you going into Big Ten play, that you've seen a lot of different looking teams and how they like to match up?
Yeah, I mean, that's half the point of why you build your schedule the way you do, is because you want to be able to, really prepare yourself for the Big Ten conference. And it's sometimes hard when you're making those agreements and signing contracts in the scheduling of your non-conference to know exactly what the style of play might look like, or if this might be a pressing team, or if this is going to be, a small team that's going to pull your bigs out and try to, shoot threes and run them off screens. But I think, Amanda Hart, who really kind of spearheads our scheduling, especially that non-conference schedule stuff. She just does a really good job of taking all things into account and trying to put us in the best position to prepare us for Big Ten play, and to also put us in the position where our net score is where we want it to be when we head into NCAA tournament selection and seeding.
And then you got another one at home on Sunday as well, against Chattanooga, noon tip for that one. You kind of do one game at a time, right? You probably haven't started diving into the film yet on Chattanooga.
I have not done anything with Chattanooga. I know they have a new head coach. There will be some kind of new things, and so that's something that come tomorrow night, I'm sure I'll be up really late learning a little bit more about them.
Well, you kind of divvy it out, right, to your assistants, where they each have a scout and then they bring the game plan for you guys?
Right, yeah. I mean, we pretty much, each of the full-time assistants take about every third scout, and then Jace Henderson is really actively involved in helping, with specific aspects for each one of them on their scouts. And then I feel like, well, I have every scout, so then, every time that, if it's Coach Jess's scout, which Tarleton is, then her and I will get together and we really talk through how we want to be able to defend, and what our defensive game plan will be. And then we meet as a staff so that the entire staff is on the same page with everything that's going on there. But it allows them to really focus on about every third game to pull the film that we're going to show our players and to put it in the scout form so that our players can gather the information that's necessary.
Sunday is Superhero Day. Do you have a favorite superhero?
I've never really thought about favorite superhero, but
I'm not super into that, but I know they're doing some fun stuff on the big screen, as they always do, always entertaining. And I just love the production of the basketball games. I know you probably don't get to see a lot of it, but they do such a great job.
I hear the stories. So my family, my parents get to come to a lot of games. My husband, the girls, my 14-year-old, particularly Bentley, will let me know if she feels like that the video board, had awesome stuff on, or if the halftime show was, what was so great about it. And so I get to hear all about the production after the fact, because I'm usually pretty glued in. I know the girls have been singing Christmas carols. I'm sure they'll be up there doing some of that stuff here, and so some silliness.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. Best of luck tomorrow night and Sunday as well. Thanks for coming in late. We always love having you.
Thanks, Jess.
Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly ahead.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Good evening, I'm Duke Root, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Nebraska football head coach Matt Rule announced that secondaries coach John Butler has been promoted to defensive coordinator. Butler joined the Huskers in July after spending 6 seasons prior in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills as their defensive backs coach. 5 Nebraska volleyball players were honored by the AVCA in the All-Region Awards announced on Tuesday. Merritt Beeson, Andy Jackson, Harper Murray, Bergen Riley, and Lexi Rodriguez were all named to the AVCA West All-Region team. And Lexi Rodriguez was named the West Region Player of the Year. She's the 3rd Husker to ever win this award. In the MLB, 2-time All-Star starting pitcher Max Fried signed with the New York Yankees on an 8-year, $218 million deal. After failing to re-sign Juan Soto, the Yankees stock up on starting pitching, which was one of their best qualities of the American League champions this past season. The quarterfinals of the NBA Cup start tonight with 2 games, the Magic vs. the Bucks and the Thunder hosting the Mavericks. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Raiola under center. Turns, hands off to Dowdell, plunges into the end zone, touchdown, Nebraska! What a drive for the Big Red! An exclamation point on what has been a wonderful first half here in Iowa City. 9-0, Big Red.
Outside set, Hurricanes Cologne roll shot. Nice up by Harper. Now Nebraska center dump. Bergen Riley. She does it. Nebraska wins. Call the grandkids. The Huskers go to their 40th Sweet 16 in the last 43 seasons. Remarkable. And they'll shake hands in Lincoln. Bring on the Dayton Flyers. We're going to be right here at the Devaney next weekend for a trip to the Final Four.
Here's a poke away by Hoiberg. Puts it up, got it! Huskers have a 100-burger. 101-72 on the swipe by Sam, and the take for the lay-in.
Oh, Moriarty saved it in bounds. Got it to Coley. To Widener. Angles in. Out to Rimdole for 3 on the right wing. You betcha. Huskers made something out of nothing.
Now, here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are, Hour 2 of our Tuesday night show. Hope you enjoyed last hour with Amy Williams. Huskers, that terrific conference opening win over Minnesota on Sunday. I really thought, Jess, and I haven't seen every minute of their season at this point, but I thought that might be the best they've played to this point in time in the season.
Yeah, certainly in stretches too, and that's what Amy just talked about there to close out. A couple different times she mentioned about playing a complete 40 minutes, but there were a couple different stretches that, yeah, I think that was the best they've looked, especially since Natalie Potts, since that injury. And I know that's been talked about at length, but that was a big loss. And so I think this team is continuing to figure out what is needed from each person and each role to fill what she would provide the team. So I would agree. I think in stretches, certainly probably the first quarter, that they looked as good as they've looked all season. And so hopefully they can build off of that and continue to put more complete game performances together, as Coach mentioned there in that last hour.
It was an undefeated Minnesota team that played here on Sunday. Well, Duke mentioned this in the ticker. There is news as it relates to Husker football. As Matt Rule has made it official, Tony Butler is the new defensive coordinator. Tony was the defensive backs coach. Or John Butler, yeah. What did I say?
Tony Butler.
Tony. Yeah. Sorry, Tony White. John Butler. And there's Coach Rule saying John has been a great addition to our staff. This season has proven that he's the right coach to lead our defense. John has proven success as defensive coordinator in the Big Ten Conference, a history of coaching elite defenses throughout his career. And then Coach Butler said, I appreciate the confidence that Coach Rule has shown in me. I guess we shouldn't be surprised. I am a little bit, but I think that when John took the job here in the middle of summer, I think that there were some conversations, Jess, about this eventually happening for him, whether it was this offseason, next offseason, or whatever. But, these are players it should be an easy transition for the players because they've known Coach Butler now for 6 months.
Yeah, and I think that was one thing that Coach Rule had talked about in his press conference the last time he was in front of the media about there were several guys that were advocating for Coach Butler, and also they've had a few practices now to where he can get a sense of how Coach Butler would manage things, how he'd be as the play caller. And I think just figuring out, too, just the pieces to build around that, too. And I'm sure they've had conversations because we heard Coach Rule say that he kind of liked what they had done defensively and the looks of it and how versatile it was. And so I'm sure he's had multiple conversations with Coach Butler. And but, yeah, I think it was well documented before Coach Butler got here that was something that eventually he'd like to do, is be a defensive coordinator. Had tremendous success as the defensive backs coach with the Buffalo Bills. Searles got a firsthand knowledge of working with him up there, really was a big fan of his and thought he'd be, great in that role eventually. And so here we go. He's got an opportunity, and we're going to see the first looks at it in the Pinstripe Bowl. But, I think probably Coach Rule, as we talked about last night with Damon, that Coach Rule is going to make sure that this team plays good defense, and he wouldn't put somebody in a position that he didn't think was capable of making sure that the Huskers play good defense.
Now, whether we stick with the 3-3-5 alignment, I don't know, because some of the other reporting that's out there, and Pete Thamel's been out there today saying that there are some other additions coming on the defensive staff. Nebraska has not confirmed it, but what Pete Thamel is saying is that Phil Snow is going to be the associate head coach. Phil and Coach Rule go way back. Temple, Baylor, Carolina Panthers, so that Phil would be the associate head coach. Terry Braden, who is currently an assistant defensive line coach with the Kansas City Chiefs, may be coming on as the defensive line coach for the Cornhuskers. Phil Simpson, who had been here, may be coming back as the outside linebacker coach. And that terminology there leads me to believe that maybe they're going to go to a 3-4 defense. But those other three have not been confirmed by Nebraska. But Pete Thamel, multiple outlets are reporting that this staff is coming together on the defensive side, but it will be led by Tony Butler moving forward for the Cornhuskers. So Coach acted pretty quick. I mean, you think about this, all kind of happened, Jess, in the last 7-8 days from the departure of Tony White and Terrence Knighton leaving the staff, to be able to put this together and let these guys maybe work with this group through bowl prep and then the bowl game, I think is invaluable.
Yeah, and I think what I like too is, and if these are all we don't have official news on the other hires yet, right? Just Coach Butler, right?
Correct.
So, but if some of the reports are true too, I think still getting that NFL kind of experience with the defensive line, I think that was really important, and probably Coach Rule saw that, and in terms of recruiting, but also just I think that was really good for this group in terms of development, and a lot of these players come here and say, what is it going to take for me to get to the next level? And you continue to have that NFL type experience with Coach Butler, and then some of the other guys that they're bringing on staff, that you can say, hey, we've got guys that have been there, that know what it takes to get there, and that can help you get the most out of hopefully getting you there. So I'm sure, again, it was something, a long work in process that Coach Rule went through to try to figure out who would replace Tony White, and I'm sure I have full faith in Coach Rule as a defensive guy, that he's going to make the right decision for this program, this group. And if he didn't believe John Butler could help this team play good defense, he wouldn't have made that decision. But yeah, we'll see how it all unfolds, and even maybe some of the wrinkles in the bowl game that we might see with Coach Butler being the defensive coordinator, but also what they're going to install. And there's going to be a lot of things to watch out for. There are a lot of new probably looks and wrinkles on both sides of the ball. Spring ball is going to be really interesting.
Sure will be. So lots of moving parts for Husker football moving forward. Great point, though, too. Every guy that comes to campus thinks he's going to play in the NFL. And so if you've got guys on the staff that have coached in the NFL, they can tell this kid, well, I can help you get there, or I'll be realistic with you in that maybe you're not an NFL guy. But players all walk on campus year one. They think they're going to be NFL players, and you don't want to squash their dreams. You want them to try to attain to get that. So I think this is good news on all this front. Coach Rule had a presser today along with Bill O'Brien, the head coach at Boston College. He didn't talk about these type of things. He will have a press conference after practice on Thursday. Should get into more details about this defensive staff when he talks on Thursday. We will play you some clips from that press conference from the Pinstripe Bowl coming up here in just a little bit. Jess, I want to touch on something else before we hit to our first break. Yesterday there was a flurry of rumors out there that Dylan was going into the transfer portal. Some website reports across the country said he was in talks at this school or that school, so much so that Dylan had to put out a kind of a social media post last night. I'm not going anywhere. This stuff gets so dangerous, doesn't it? I mean, these guys, some of these fan websites get out there with really no change to them, and they can make these accusations about guys going here or there, to the point that Dylan felt like he had to go and address the rumors. I felt bad about that for Dylan.
Yeah, it's really disappointing that, you know, we're at a day and age where people can just say something and then I feel like it continues to happen more and more. They just put it out there and then it takes off like wildfire. And I feel like it's wishful thinking for some folks that are outside that would wish that Dylan could be a part of their program. But, you know, just floating stuff out there that they have no confirmation for, and then people talk about it and then it catches on and then he's getting hammered by it. And I think Coach Roll was even asked about it today in his Pinstripe Bowl press conference. And, you know, this is Dylan's been locked in from the start. He helped recruit this signing class that we just talked about last week. He was a big part in getting a lot of those guys, even a guy like Cortez Mills from Florida. He was big on that. So was Ja'Cory Barney. And so, you know, this place means a lot to Dylan. And I think he's excited about what's coming and some of the pieces that they're trying to build around him, and also Coach Holgerson and the offense. And so it stinks that this is the day and age that we're in, that people can just put something out there and people believe it and then it takes off and it's crazy. And I feel like kind of everything that Dylan does is big news. Obviously he's at the Chiefs game and people were talking about that. So, and it's kind of part of it, I guess, being a high level player, and he handles it really well. But it is disappointing that people can just put something out there with no backing to it and then it takes off the way that it does. So yeah, it's disappointing. There's been a lot of things like that where over the last couple of weeks that people just throw stuff out there, and because they might have heard something from a maybe source or whatever, a source of a source, and then presented as facts and true without having the backing of it. And it's irresponsible for sure. And you know, the adults can handle it a little bit more. I hate that Dylan has to deal with it, but he handles it in the right way, and he's got a good head on his shoulders, great family, so I think he'll go about it the right way. But yeah, it's crazy how much that thing took off like wildfire. And like I said, I think a lot of it was probably some other fan bases' wishful thinking that he would consider going to their programs.
And for Husker fans, pump the brakes a little bit. When you hear something like this, don't jump to conclusions that whatever you've read is right. In a lot of cases, it's not going to be right. So just be careful when you jump into something like this, that you immediately go to the dark side of this thing. By the way, a couple of those South Florida kids, Amari Sanders, V9, Vincent Schaefer's, have come out and said, we're all in, because I know there were some rumors about them wanting to depart and head back to Florida after their freshman year here. But that group, and Ja'Cory Barney's in that batch as well, really seem to like it here. And they all are so talented. And so that's a great sign that they seem to, like Dylan, seem to be all in with what's going on with the program right now.
Yeah, it was almost like, okay, here's two guys from the defensive staff are going to Florida State, so the kids from Florida are going with him. It's not always the case. I mean, there are some other relationships. I brought this up on the signing day interview with Coach Roll, but you heard me talk to a lot of them. Most of them, unsolicited, brought up their relationship with Coach Roll and Matt Rule and the other members of the staff, the Kristen Coggins, the Corey Campbells. It's more, I think that's where Coach Roll is getting it right in this day and age where the transfer portal is so prominent and will continue to be. But at a lot of places, it's just about building that relationship with your position coach. And that's still going to be the case for some guys. But I think they've made a very, very conscious effort to really make sure that when these guys are coming here on campus, whether it be a transfer portal guy or a high school recruit, that they are really investing outside of just who they're going to be playing for, because that could change at any given moment. So there are other relationships being built that they feel like they're going to be safe here and they like what can be done here. And so I think that's where, this, again, I think people just jump to the conclusion, there's guys going to Florida, they're going with him. That's not always the case, because I think there's certain guys that really do believe in what's being done here. And when they signed up to play here, they believe in that. And they have some relationships beyond just the guys that are in their position room, that they believe they can do something special here. So, yeah, again, another one of those things where people just, I think, maybe assume instead of waiting and seeing how it unfolds and letting the guys make the announcements themselves, just trying to throw maybe spaghetti at the wall and hope that it sticks. And but yeah, it's good to hear some of that young core talent is wanting to stick around and see it through here.
Trying to be the first to some story, and sometimes they get lucky and do it. How about Brett McMurphy putting out that it was going to be SMU before the playoff reveal show had even started on Sunday? That made a lot of people mad that Brett McMurphy got wind of SMU getting in and not Alabama. That ruffled some feathers in the national media. All right, Coach Rural held a presser today along with Bill O'Brien, the head coach of Boston College, for the Pinstripe Bowl coming up on the 28th of this month. We'll play some clips of that. Dawson Merritt, a highly, highly thought of linebacker in this recruiting class for Nebraska. Jess caught up with him last week. We're going to play back that interview for you later on in the hour as well. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. More of the show coming up next.
This postseason, the Nebraska Cornhuskers are ready to make a run for the championship, and Woodhouse is right there with them. Follow along as the Huskers take on the best in the NCAA volleyball tournament. Hear every thrilling moment, every powerful serve, and every block for the title. Woodhouse, proud sponsor of Nebraska volleyball, bringing you all the action as the Huskers fight for glory. Stay tuned and cheer on the Huskers each broadcast, presented by Woodhouse.
Attention, Husker Nation. Are you ready to power up your game? Sap Brothers bleeds Husker Red, and our high-quality off-road red diesel is the fuel that powers your equipment. As official sponsors of the Huskers, we're here with a touchdown offer with the Sap Brothers Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. Contract your upcoming fuel needs by February 1st and enter to win 1,000 free gallons of our off-road red diesel. Keep your engines roaring and your equipment running strong. With this winning opportunity, Sap Brothers fuels Husker Nation. Visit sapbros.net/fuel giveaway for more info.
No matter what color you wear on game day or what color tractor you drive, there's one color Nebraskans trust to be a partner for life lived well. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska combines national power with Nebraska roots. Awarded the best health insurance experience in the heartland, Blue Cross delivers affordable, high-quality health plans for Medicare groups and individuals. Head to nebraskablue.com to find the coverage that's right for you. Team Blue says, go Big Red.
For farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices.
I'm Ann Meese, a farmer near Elgin, Nebraska. I grew up on this land, and we're dedicated to being good stewards and leaving it better for the next generation.
Since 1980, U.S. soybean farmers have boosted production by 130%, all while lowering emissions and improving land and water use. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Sunday morning. You can smell it. Game day. And the brisket you've been smoking since last night. A day to be with family, aka fellow football fans. Traditions make Sundays easy to enjoy. Beers do too. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome to the Make It Jingle with Chris Kringle podcast. Today we're talking to Jan from Toyota, all about Toyotathon.
Hi!
So, tell me about Toyotathon.
Well, from now until January 6th is the perfect time to get a new Camry, RAV4, Highlander, and more.
Oh, how exciting! So what can you do in a new Toyota this holiday season?
With a new RAV4, you can go snowboarding with your friends.
I love dashing through the snow.
Take a Camry to a tree lighting ceremony.
Sounds merry and bright.
Or even load up the family in a Highlander to go ice skating.
What a jolly good time. So, Jan, got any red Tacomas? After my big job, I'm taking the missus down to Florida to go surfing.
Florida? I'm there.
Dealer inventory may vary. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyotathon, which ends on January 6th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers, Corin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, or Baxter Toyota of La Vista.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Sports Nightly Tuesday night. Earlier today, there was a press conference via Zoom for the Pinstripe Bowl. The two head coaches, Matt Rule for the Cornhuskers, Bill O'Brien for the Boston College Eagles. And here was Coach Rule's opening statement.
Well, we're unbelievably excited and grateful. We've worked really hard to get to this point, and a tough schedule this year. Had a chance to play against a lot of great teams, and to have that continue against a great Boston College team. I remember watching them to start the year, beat Florida State. I have so much respect for Bill O'Brien, going back to when he was the head coach of my alma mater, Penn State, and the great job that he did. So I know it'll be a great game. As you mentioned, I'm a New York City alum. We've got 6 guys on our team that are either from North Jersey or from New York City, and so this will be really special for us. And some of the best moments of my young life growing up in the city were taking the train, going to see a Yankee game, and since this game first came to fruition, years ago when you first had the Pinstripe Bowl, and I've always wanted this opportunity to have that now. For me also as the head coach to know that Coach Devaney's first game was the Gotham Bowl. I talked to his son the other day talking about that experience. Everything seems to come full circle. So we're grateful. We're excited. We're excited for our fans. 2 years ago when I was out in December, my wife and I went to the city, went to see the Rockettes and everything for December. So I know it's going to be an amazing experience for our guys, and also a great football game.
Safe to say the head ball coach is excited about going to New York City here for this one. There's a lot of ties with the coaching staff and certainly some players up there that I think they're looking forward to being able to play in New York City in late December.
No doubt. A lot of East Coast influence on Nebraska staff. And obviously Bill O'Brien is from that part of the country as well. And he knows John Butler really well, and also knows Coach Rule pretty darn well. Here's the BC head coach.
John's a very bright guy,
did a good job for me at Penn State and at the Houston Texans. Great knowledge of the game. You know, they're going to, like Coach Rule just said, they're going to be a very tough unit, very physical. You better be ready for, you know, a lot of different looks, a lot of different, you know, things that he can throw at you. And, you know, he has great background since he worked for me, you know, working for, you know, obviously the Buffalo Bills and Sean McDermott, and now at University of Nebraska. So big challenge for us. And, you know, we like I said, we're excited about it. We're very thrilled to be in this bowl, and just looking forward to the opportunity, looking forward to the game preparation, and then looking forward to, you know, going against University of Nebraska. You know, like for me, I coached at Penn State, and I know Matt went to Penn State, and, you know, playing the University of Nebraska is an honor, because when I was at Penn State, we played them at Nebraska, we played them at Happy Valley, had two really tough games, didn't win either one of them. But just, you know, that's what Nebraska football is. And Coach Rule's carried that tradition on. They're very tough, very physical, and I'm sure we can expect that from their defense.
High praise there for John Butler, but then also for the program of Nebraska football. You get a sense that there's just a lot of respect between both coaches and both football programs.
Yeah, the whole press conference was dripping with respect from both sides. Here's Coach Rural talking about trying to get the Huskers mentally prepared to play in this game in just a couple of weeks.
We have some technical difficulties with the video.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
So I think he's probably going to have to reboot it here, but we can play just play the audio. We're not.
In college on Sunday, now we've begun prep for them. And so, you know, I think, you know, mentally for us, our guys will be prepared. You know, this is an opportunity to, you know, we made some coaching changes. We've had some coaching changes. So it's an opportunity for our guys to really get familiar with the kind of what we're going to do and ask them to do versus the opponent. And so we're already in it. In fact, I left practice to come in and do this, and I can hear them blowing the whistles outside. So, you know, we're full steam ahead for this.
Huskers did practice today. They'll practice again tomorrow, and then next week is finals week, so it'll be a little bit of hit and miss because you got to obviously take care of some studies. But Jess, they're leaving on the 23rd. They're going to leave 5 days out, so they'll have a good chunk of practices in New York City once they get boots on the ground for the bowl game, and that's where you can really work on some more development. But obviously, you're there to win the game. You're there to go try to jumpstart 2025 with a bowl victory.
Well, yeah, and I think also, too, it's just such a great experience that nobody on this football program that's been here, and the young guys haven't had that experience. And it's fun. It's what you work for. It's you know, it's just that bowl kind of experience. A lot of those players talk about some of their favorite memories is when you get to go and do that. So I think, too, it's important for Coach Rule to be able to have some time for this team to really take it in and have the bowl experience and spend some time together. And so, you know, leaving on the 23rd to get some extra time there in New York City and get to spend Christmas together. But that's what you want to not have Christmas, right? If you're playing college football, you want to be playing. It's kind of where you want to be when you sign up to play college football is, you know, still playing, still practicing, still preparing. And so, you know, I think it'll be a great experience for this program. Just, you get to have those practices there in New York with the cold, all of that kind of stuff, the development, but then also just the experience and getting to bond and share it together for the guys going out. That's why they came back, but then also for the guys that are going to be here next season and to be able to build off of that and have that experience together.
We've heard so much about the playoff, the bowl matchups, and, yes, the transfer portal. How has that affected this time of year now that it's a big part of the college football game? Here's the coach.
You know, we have a unique situation here in that we had 150 guys to start the year, you know, and so then we signed 20 guys in our class, which puts us at like 170. So, you know, you lose 30 guys, it puts you back at 140, and then you have to get to 105. So we've got maybe 30 to 40 kids who walked on here, who paid their own way to come to the University of Nebraska because they love it. And they love what it means to be a Cornhusker. They want to be on this football team in whatever role, and many of them moving forward will not be able to because, as Coach O'Brien mentioned, some new rules. And I think, as we all know, when something's meant to benefit some, it usually benefits the upper 10%, and then there's a lot of collateral damage. So we have a bunch of kids that don't know where they're going to be in the future. They don't have a place to go, and yet they still want to go be a part of this bowl because they love their team. They love Nebraska. So, you know, we live in a day, and obviously our fan base is very excited about Nebraska, and you guys cover them really well, but we cover a lot of the stories like, hey, this one guy left. Well, I like to think about the 50 guys that instead of going on official visits right now to find a place, they're sticking around to just go be a part of something that hasn't happened since 2016. And this will be the last time many of these guys ever get a chance to put on that helmet. And so when we talk about gratitude, this is probably, I've been to some bowls before. It's probably the most grateful I've ever been for a bowl. And I think about those kids that are there. You know, I don't foresee anybody, you know, necessarily maybe, I mean, each kid will be a little bit different. And I think everything's fluid, right? You know, we have agents now. You know, there was never an agent in college football legally. Now everyone has agents and things like that. So we'll deal with each kid as they come. But I think Coach O'Brien said it best. For us, this is a celebration from last year, but it's also a great start to next year. And so I'm looking forward to seeing the opportunity a lot of guys get. But I don't want us ever to forget, you know, Nebraska is the walk-on program. And that's in many ways coming to an end. And this is really the last game for a lot of these kids. And so it will mean a ton to me to be out there on the field with those guys. And I prefer to think about that than the one or two kids maybe that might leave that we'd like to stay. There's a lot of kids that want to be here.
Yeah, I mean, he said that a few times now, just how, and we've talked about that, how hard it is for him to have to, you know, tell some of those guys. But I like this point, though, about, hey, instead of focusing on the guys that are leaving, that are, you know, going about this process of seeing what the transfer portal might hold for them, let's focus on the guys that are here, because there's been a lot of guys that poured their blood, sweat, and tears of this. They're going to be their last time playing in a Husker uniform, and so celebrating that, I'm kind of on that camp too. Let's celebrate those guys and talk about those guys, and really appreciate that. And we can talk about the transfer portal till we're blue in the face, and there's still a lot to figure out there. But I like that approach of just, hey, there's been a lot of guys that did a lot for this program to get us here, and let's talk about them.
There are a lot of things to fix. I think the dates of the portal are bad. Agents are coming in and getting way too much commission to help guys go to a new school. I just think there's a lot to fix with college football right now. And I think guys like Matt Rule, Bill O'Brien, they both see it, and they know it has to happen, and maybe it'll get fixed here. Some of it at least gets fixed in the off season. Our bowl coverage of the Huskers' appearance at the Pinstripe Bowl brought to you by our good friends at Woodhouse, your trusted partner every day since 1975. All right, when we come back, we're going to hear from Dawson Merritt, one of the gold stars of the Nebraska recruiting class, signed last week by Coach Rural and the staff. We're back with that conversation next.
This postseason, the Nebraska Cornhuskers are ready to make a run for the championship, and Woodhouse is right there with them. Follow along as the Huskers take on the best in the NCAA volleyball tournament. Hear every thrilling moment, every powerful serve, and every block for the title. Woodhouse, proud sponsor of Nebraska volleyball, bringing you all the action as the Huskers fight for glory. Stay tuned and cheer on the Huskers each broadcast, presented by Woodhouse.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first, before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices.
That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Last season was a banner year for the Huskers, winning 5 Big Ten titles. Nebraska also finished in the top 25 in the Directors' Cup standings. Beardmore Subaru congratulates Husker Athletics and Nebraska student athletes for all their achievements and stands behind you again this season. Go Big Red! Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester, the same trusted SUV it's always been, only more so. Love begins with trust.
Hello, Husker Nation. This is Lex Rodriguez, All-American Libero, serving you an ace on behalf of Noddle Companies based in Omaha, Nebraska. Noddle Companies is a full-service leader in commercial real estate, digging deep to create thriving communities like the Builders District, Exarban Village, and the contemporary row house townhomes. They bring world-class concepts in fashion, great eats, gorgeous homes, and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. To dig up more information, find them on Facebook and Instagram. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska.
Welcome to the Make It Jingle with Chris Kringle podcast. Today we're talking to Jan from Toyota, all about Toyotathon.
Hi!
So, tell me about Toyotathon.
Well, from now until January 6th is the perfect time to get a new Camry, RAV4, Highlander, and more.
Oh, how exciting! So what can you do in a new Toyota this holiday season?
With a new RAV4, you can go snowboarding with your friends.
I love dashing through the snow.
Take a Camry to a tree lighting ceremony.
Sounds merry and bright.
Or even load up the family in a Highlander to go ice skating.
What a jolly good time. So, Jan, got any red Tacomas? After my big job, I'm taking the missus down to Florida to go surfing.
Florida? I'm there.
Dealer inventory may vary. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyotathon, which ends on January 6th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers, Corin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, or Baxter Toyota of La Vista.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Sam, since this is your first Get Holiday Ready sales event, let me introduce you to the full lineup of Ford SUVs. Keep it festive, Morgan.
How fun!
That's Blake and Bailey. They're our Bronco experts.
Goat modes goes over any type of terrain.
And of course, Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. The Get Holiday Ready sales event.
Chills.
Get 1.9 for 60 plus 1,000 holiday cash plus no payments for up to 90 days on F-150. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. Last week was signing day, and boy, one of the crown jewels of that class is Dawson Merritt, linebacker out of the Kansas City area. Jessica had a chance to catch up with him last week. Here's that conversation.
We welcome in another one of the new Huskers joining Nebraska football, signing to play on with the Huskers, Dawson Merritt, the linebacker out of Missouri. Dawson, thank you so much for being here with us. Congratulations. How does it feel that this process is complete and you are officially a Husker?
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. The process has definitely been stressful, but with committing to Nebraska, I've found sort of like a peace. So it's been great these last couple of weeks.
Oh, that's great to hear. Well, tell us about your recruiting process. When you get to the point where you're hearing a lot from colleges and you're looking for that next spot, what were some of the things that were at the top of your list for what you were looking for?
Yeah, for me, at the top of my list would be number one would be relationships. I'm big on relationships. I feel like that's bigger than the football team itself, just being comfortable where you're at. Because yes, as much as you love to win games, if you're not loving the sport and loving the people you're around every day, it doesn't really mean anything. So relationships was definitely at the top of my list. I wanted to play for a coach and for coaches that I really enjoyed.
Oh, that's great. When what was it like for you when that, it's you said it was stressful, and I can only imagine just how that process, how were you able to manage all of it, and just with all the eyeballs on you, watching your every move, just manage all of the pressure that comes along with being such a highly touted recruit?
Yeah, for me, it was, I wouldn't say it was easy, but I feel like it helped having a dad who's kind of been through the same exact thing, just with being a coach for the Chiefs. So he's helped me out a lot through this process. And just also I just always staying positive with it. There's always a positive spin to it, because even though it was stressful and hard, it almost, I could say, made a man out of me. Just being able to tell a lot of schools no, being able to stand up for myself, it allowed me to be able to have conversations with people that I don't know. Like it's made life a lot easier for me because I've learned valuable lessons through this process.
Oh, that's awesome. What a great perspective. You mentioned your dad. Was there any option for you to play football, or did you find the love on your own?
So actually my dad didn't start playing football until his sophomore year of high school. So he didn't allow me and all my brothers to play until we were in high school as well. So growing up, I was a basketball kid. Like, I thought I was going to be playing basketball in college, and I played football my freshman year, and everyone thought that I was the route for me was football, but I still was sticking with basketball. I didn't really know that I was a football player for real until I got that first offer.
Wow. So how did growing up and being a basketball player and not being football, how did that translate once you did start playing tackle football?
Yeah, I would say just being an athlete, just playing basketball, being able to jump, run, all that stuff translated pretty easily. And then just honestly, if I'm being honest with you, something that's helped a lot with my football knowledge is just obviously watching a lot of football, but playing a lot of Madden as well. I feel like it's helped a lot with my football instincts and stuff. I feel like just obviously with my dad being home, that helps a lot too. But just growing up around football, and even though I didn't play, I was probably more into watching football, playing Madden, stuff like that growing up anyways.
So it's pretty cool because, most high school recruits play football a long time, but you probably can remember your first football game, your first tackle football game. What was that like when you ran out there? Did you love it immediately?
I sure can remember. I did love it immediately. So I played receiver and Mike linebacker. I was a better receiver than I was a linebacker at the time. I don't know what my coach saw in me, but I was terrible defensively, and I thought I was pretty good offensively. So I had a great time though. It was a great game.
So if you were terrible, I have a hard time believing that, but if you go from being terrible in that first game to being one of the top recruits in the state, how did that go for you? How were you able to get there and to where you were able to really develop?
Yeah, it took me actually quitting basketball for me to really lock in on football training and stuff, because, okay, so my freshman year, I played football, I played basketball. My sophomore year, I played football and I played basketball. But my sophomore year, I started on varsity as an outside linebacker, and unexpectedly, because like I said, I didn't think I was that good, but I started on varsity my sophomore year, and then is when I started to listen to my parents, listen to people, like, you're a football player, take this more seriously. So, and I was really light and really skinny. So what I did was I quit basketball after my sophomore year. It was hard to do, but it was definitely the right decision. I gained about 25 pounds that off season. That off season, I pretty much just went to work. That off season going into my junior year, just on the field training and the weight room training, just a lot of stuff. And it paid off for sure.
What were some of the most important lessons that your dad tried to instill in you when you decided to go down this route to pursue college football? What were some of the most important things? Hey, if you want to do this, you got to do this, 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 and this.
Yeah, his biggest message was being consistent. It wasn't always about what you did, or even if you didn't give, if you were injured and you just went and were to do some recovery, at least you're consistently doing something. Like, my dad would always preach, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. So every day you got to do something to better yourself. So I made sure that every day I was always trying to do something, no matter what the circumstances were.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, it's I talked to Christian already, Coach Dvorak. It seems like you guys got a really great relationship. From your perspective, what's that been like, getting to know him and you guys building that relationship?
Yeah, me and Coach Dvorak have a great relationship. We've had a great relationship since when he first started recruiting me back. I want to say last September, last October. I don't know when it was, but we have a great relationship. We talk all the time. If I'm being honest with you, I think I'm supposed to call him at like 4:30. We talk almost every day. I love Coach Rob, everything about him.
And then how about Christian and that fellow linebacker coming in with you? You guys have a fun relationship.
Me and Christian, we actually didn't talk much in the beginning, but ever since I committed, we've kind of talked a decent amount since then. I mean, he's a great guy, obviously a great player, best player in Nebraska probably. So it'll be exciting going up there and playing with him. I'm gonna have so much fun. I know he'll challenge me to be a better player, be a better person every single day. So I just can't wait to get up there and play with him and Pierce Mooberry. That's another guy who I've been talking to a lot, of linebacker commit.
Yeah. Okay, so if Husker fans are listening or watching and they haven't seen much of you play yet, what are you going to bring to this black shirt defense?
Something that I say I can bring is I'm going to bring a lot of versatility. I feel like I can play in a lot of different spots defensively. I can line up inside the box, outside the box, play man, play zone, come off the edge on passing downs. I just feel like that's my main attribute, just being able to do whatever's asked of me. I feel like I can do a lot of things at a high level.
So what are your goals then over these? You're coming early, right?
Yes, I am.
When you get here and you start kind of transitioning into playing college football and everything that comes along with it, the weight room, all of that kind of stuff, what are your goals for yourself? What kind of goals have you set for yourself to be able to establish yourself early and maybe earn some playing time early?
Yeah, so as of right now, I'm in a sling right now. I partially tore my labrum, so I get fully cleared to play football and do football things in April, I want to say. So as of now, I'm just trying really hard to recover my shoulder, do anything I can, do PT as much as I can to get good sleep, just to get my shoulder back to 100% as quick as it can. With doing that, though, I actually just got home from the gym. I'm actually really working on, because I feel like all my life I've grown up with kind of basketball legs. So I'm definitely trying to get stronger lower body wise. So that's something that I'll be really pushing hard as much as I can't do upper body things.
All right, we gonna get out of that a little early here. We're cutting it a little close, but you can listen to that full interview on our podcast platforms or on our YouTube channel. I posted some of the interviews with the recruits that or the signees that you can listen to. He's a big French fry guy, by the way, but that was according to most of the recruiting services, the highest rated guy in this class. That's a big get out of that Kansas City area. All right, got to get to our final break here. We're back to wrap up Sports Nightly coming up after this.
Sam, since this is your first Get Holiday Ready sales event, let me introduce you to the full lineup of Ford SUVs. Keep it festive, Morgan.
How fun!
That's Blake and Bailey. They're Bronco experts.
Goat modes goes over any type of terrain.
And of course, Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. The Get Holiday Ready sales event.
Chills.
Get 1.9 for 60 plus 1,000 holiday cash plus no payments for up to 90 days on F-150. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Huskers fans, let's call a timeout on the court and in life. When the game gets tough, Nebraska stands together as a family, as a team. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. You're part of the Husker family, and every member is valued on and off the court. Remember, in times of need, call a timeout. Call, text, or chat 988. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
No matter what color you wear on game day or what color tractor you drive, there's one color Nebraskans trust to be a partner for life lived well. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska combines national power with Nebraska roots. Awarded the best health insurance experience in the heartland, Blue Cross delivers affordable, high-quality health plans for Medicare groups and individuals. Head to nebraskablue.com to find the coverage that's right for you. Team Blue says, go Big Red.
From family road trips in a spacious SUV to heavy-duty hauling in a powerful truck, Woodhouse has the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Purchasing a vehicle has never been easier thanks to our streamlined buying process. Browse a huge selection of new or pre-owned vehicles from top brands. View transparent pricing so you can find the vehicle that fits in your budget. And complete your purchase online. Shop when you want, where you want. It's the Woodhouse difference. Get started today at woodhouse.com.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back. Final segment here of Sports Nightly. Duke has had a lot going on back here. Appreciate him helping us out here today, but we've had a lot of craziness going on. We probably could have ran the rest of that interview with Dawson Merritt, but you can listen to it out again. I posted it, but it was just some fun questions at the end. But it was an impressive class. I talked, I think, 10 of them, and they were all really, really great to talk to. A lot of great personality, and I think it's a group that this staff is excited about. Some of them hopefully will be able to contribute pretty immediately, but you heard Dawson there. He has only played a few years of actual football and played flag football, but he's got a lot of upside. So hopefully he can get healthy, and I know that they're really excited about him. But it was a fun group. They're really, really great, really mature, and so a lot of them are going to be trying to get here to practice during bowl practices, which is crazy that you can do that now. So a lot of the guys will enroll early. A lot of them in the past have come in January, but some of them coming as soon as they can to be able to maybe participate in some bowl practices. As we've heard over and over again over the past few weeks how important this time is for the development of that young talent. Lots of it here on this roster. We've got some questions asking about the transfer. Some of the guys that could be in the transfer portal, they could still play in the bowl game. Yes, that is possible. I don't know how many of them will, if they will. But you technically could play in the bowl game and then transfer. But that's still a lot to figure out there. I know they'll have some transfers on campus to visit. We'll definitely target some guys in the transfer portal to bring in to go along with some of the guys that they've already had. But we're just kind of scratching the surface of the news. So with the roster, who will be in the portal, who they will try to add, and all of that as this thing unfolds here over the next month or so. All right, that is going to do it here for this edition of Sports Nightly. Appreciate Amy Williams and Jeff Griesch for joining us in our Husker Women's Basketball Hour. Coming up tomorrow night, we will have women's basketball on the air against Tarleton. 7 o'clock, first tip will be on the air at the pregame show starting at 6:30 with Matt Coatney and Jeff Griesch. So we will just have a short show for you here tomorrow. I believe Greg is going to bring a part of my conversation with Logan Nisley, sophomore guard. She was absolutely fantastic. Got a chance to chat with her today. I will be posting that Husker Women's Wednesday podcast tomorrow on our podcast platform, so check that out. All right, thanks again to Duke for helping us out, Greg Sharpe and Coach Williams and Jeff Griesch. Have a great night, and we'll be back for a short show tomorrow night here leading into Husker Women's Basketball. Have a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Welcome to the Make It Jingle with Kris Kringle podcast. Today we're talking to Jan from Toyota, all about Toyotathon.
Hi!
So, tell me about Toyotathon.
Well, from now until January 6th is the perfect time to get a new Camry, RAV4, Highlander, and more.
Oh, how exciting! So what can you do in a new Toyota this holiday season?
With a new RAV4, you can go snowboarding with your friends.
I love dashing through the snow.
Take a Camry to a tree lighting ceremony.
Sounds merry and bright.
Or even load up the family in a Highlander to go ice skating.
What a jolly good time. So, Jan, got any red Tacomas? After my big job, I'm taking the missus down to Florida to go surfing.
Florida? I'm there.
Dealer inventory may vary. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyotathon, which ends on January 6th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers, Corin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, or Baxter Toyota of La Vista.
Nebraska soybeans power everyday products, from Goodyear tires and Skechers shoes to soy-based turf and fire suppressants. These innovations replace petroleum and utilize other components of the soybean, leading to more sustainable products worldwide.
I'm Doug Sadoff, a farmer near Trumbull, Nebraska. Thanks to cutting-edge research, soybeans are now in everything from tires to turf. It's amazing to see how these advancements are unlocking new potential for our crop.